Welcome to the Two-Way Street podcast with Rick Harris of Work Boot Consulting and Rob Berry of St. Louis Bath and Renovations. Our aim is to bridge the gap between contractors and consumers. Remember, communication is always a two-way street.
Welcome to the Two-Way Street podcast. I'm Rick Harris of Work Boot Consulting, joined by my good friend, Robert Berry from St. Louis Bath and Renovation. And we have a guest today, Rob. Tell us all about your guest and who she is.
This is the world's first guest we've had. This is amazing. It's fantastic. I'm Rob of St. Louis Bath and Renovation. For you new viewers and for our previous listeners, you definitely know. This is my good friend Janessa, and she is a business owner. And we love to get business owners' takes. We don't want our audience just listening to my opinion or Rick's opinion, because we know that there's some common ground between business owners. And let's just get a fresh take on a different kind of business, but also a female that's in business. She's been in business just as long as I have, which is awesome. And it's tough to be in business when you get past that first and second decade. So everybody, this is Janessa.
Hi. So I own a hair salon. I've had it for 21 years. I'm not in construction, but I do deal with people. So first and foremost, I love people. Like, I really do. I like to know my client and what their needs are. And I feel like it's a good fit whenever we have good communication. So in my line of business, I like to see pictures. I want full descriptions of what it is that they're wanting. Whenever I have women come in and they want their hair long and short, and they want it curly but also straight, and they want it browner but still blonder, I need pictures so that I can see what. And sometimes a version of an inch off of your hair is like 3 inches, and sometimes it's like a 1/4 inch. So like, I love pictures, visuals. Point, show me. Like, the more the better. It doesn't annoy me if you come in with 5 pictures and show me an idea of what you want. And I also think it's nice to have clear, realistic expectations. So if you have very thin hair, we're not going to be able to have this huge, voluptuous looking thing at the end of the day. So it's good to have realistic expectations. If you come in and your hair is black, we cannot make it platinum with no damage in an hour and 20 minutes. That's just not possible. Right. So, but I love people. So as long as they come in and we can communicate and we can discuss needs and expectations, I feel like it usually goes pretty smooth.
Good for you. So just back it up a little bit. So how and why did you start your business?
I was 19 and I actually graduated beauty school, and there was a woman who went to a church that my mom went to, and I've never heard of this woman before in my life. And she approached my mom and said, "Does your daughter do hair? Does she want to buy my business?" And then I did. So it was kind of like God opened a door for me, because I was 19. I was willing to work at like Great Clips. I didn't care. And that's not a down on Great Clips, but I do love the freedom to kind of have my own thing. So it all worked out great.
Good for you. Good for you. So did you start that business eyes fully open, knowing exactly what you're going to do and everything? No.
I did not. I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, it was more of a fake it till you make it. Like, I had the skills, I had the training, I went to the school, I passed the tests, but until you're actually in it, it's not, you can't say that you know it until you've done it. Like, once you've done it, then it's like, oh, I could foil people's hair in my sleep at this point, because I've done it so many times. I can give highlights at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to, but I mean, I could if it was necessary.
Those of us contractors that have wives, we know what the foiling is, or kind of, but you don't get too much off into the woods, because the contractors, but what's she saying about foil?
No, it's just hair. So, and honestly, I didn't advertise very much. It was very much word of mouth. And now I have people that my grandma told me about you, or my cousin, or my sister, or my neighbor, or my friend at, Plinko or whatever group. And so I do hair mainly based off word of mouth. I don't really advertise at all. And it's worked for 21 years.
Good for you. I mean, to be in business for 21 years, that's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
To still be slugging it out, or
Hmm.
struggling, or having successes and challenges and all the things that come along with it. And most businesses do not get past 10 years. I
Isn't
think
it,
it's,
is it 40 or 50% of businesses close within the first 5 to 7? That used to be the stat. It's been a while since I looked it up.
yeah. And I believe is correct. And I think the stat is that 90% fail after 10 years,
Oh, wow.
but they're gone. So it's a huge accomplishment for you
Thank
to
you.
get through that. So how did you continue on? How did you get to 21 years in business?
I mean, there's ebbs and flows,
Okay.
so like there's times where you make bank that week and you're working a lot. And then there's times where your clients are all sick and their kids are sick and school just started and you make half of what you just made the week before. So it's very much like a squirrel, like collecting your nuts. So I'm very into like saving, planning ahead, budgeting. I think that helps because then if I have an
Mm-hmm.
off week, it doesn't just ruin my whole month and I can't pay my power bill. So I had to learn that kind of early on because in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning there's no paycheck. It's not like a solid steady flow in the beginning anyway. You don't have any idea what you're going to make and what's going to have to go out.
Mhm.
Right.
Um I don't know. I have kids, and so sometimes I choose to go to their games or I choose to go to their practices, or if they have a school function, I choose that. So I'll schedule around it, which is a blessing
Mm-hmm.
that I have a business that I can do that with. But that affects your income too. So whenever my son is in basketball season, I'm probably not going to make as much as I am like Christmas season. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm getting everybody in and there's no sports that I have to go roam to. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that
No.
answered your question.
No. 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 It did. It
I
did.
rabbit
It
trailed.
did. No. No. Oh, we
No,
all did.
what she said, and for you contractors that are regular listeners of ours, how many things did she say that you identify with? Of liking people, and she said loving people, and I'm one of those people as well. I love people, but you know the juggling game of life or business, right? That we all go through. I mean, man, I could pull 10 things out of what she said.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I said that yesterday. I say it all the time. There's no such thing as work-life balance when you own a business. It's just life. You got to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good on you for prioritizing your children's lives
Thank you.
over client.
Oh yeah.
Um, the, the time is the one thing that you can never get more of. You can always get more clients, always get more business, always get more money. But when that game that you wanted to go to is played, it's over.
Yes.
I think
Time to
women
move on.
naturally are a little better at that, drawing that line in the sand of I think they recognize that a little sooner because they're naturally nurturers, right? I think
Yeah.
they see that a little sooner than guys. I'm not giving guys an excuse or
No.
cutting that off. Just, man, I know my wife saw it sooner than I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, at my age, I look back and I missed a lot. You know, I was usually the videographer at the events, and so I witnessed a lot of events, through the lens of a camera. wasn't fully immersed in it. I still remember the last time my youngest daughter fell asleep on me. But
Mhm.
there's what's the saying? We're we're teaching the people that we can't live without to learn to live without us.
Oh,
Oh, I learned that lesson over this last calendar year.
so sad though.
I
It's
know.
true, but it
I
makes me
did.
just like, oh,
I did. I said that to my wife less than a year ago. I said, man, the good thing is I raise kids that don't need me. And I said, man, I just realized that now my kids don't need me. And it was so depressing.
Yeah, and I'm watching it now with like the time you spend with your children. It just like this as they age, the time spent with them, goes in the reverse. And even with my grandkids, we have five. So they're 6, 5, 3, and then 2 newborns. We spend a lot of time with the younger ones, but the older ones, they're busy. They're off. They're in school. They're doing their thing. So it's During the summer, you see more of them, but now school started, you don't see them as much. Like you get little windows of time to spend with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of sad and bittersweet, I guess. But yeah, it's just seeing them grow. I mean, my eldest will be 35 this year, which is crazy to me. But as a business owner and particularly a contractor, and this is the foil or foible that contractors have, the vast majority of them, what are they chasing? Yeah, and that is strictly, in my opinion, another job, a lead, a call, a this, a that. They haven't slowed their business down enough to look and say, well, I already have a good client base. Like you have people that come back on a regular basis, but
Yeah.
contractors for the most part are chasing leads and let's do SEO and pay per click and all the other crap that comes along with it, and they're forgetting the people that they've served, and they're not looking after them. The saying I learned it a long time ago is if you raise your prices by 50%, lose half of your clients, take care of the clients that you want to take care of, you're still at the same point, but as far as revenue goes, but you're not nearly as busy. You're not the busiest fool in town.
Yeah.
So talking about pricing and revenue and the financials and the stuff that the vast majority of us really struggle with in the beginning, how did you figure out? Because you mentioned there are things that you had to pay for.
Uh-huh.
How did you figure out what to charge?
I mean, I think for me, I'm at a phase right now where I'm kind of like, what do I feel that I'm worth? So
Right.
basically, I have a number in my head that I want to make every hour by the end of the day. So if I work a 10-hour day, if I work an 8-hour day, if I work a 12-hour day, regardless of how many hours I work that day, at the end of the day, I add up what I made and I divide it by the amount of hours I worked. And I have a number that I feel that I am worth with 21 years of experience. And I'm the type too that I'll go back and fix it per se. So if I cut someone's hair and they're like, I went home and I messed with it and I kind of wish it was a half inch shorter, I'm not going to double charge them to come in and have me cut another half inch off. That's just who I am. I have a certain level of integrity with my field. I have no idea how that would work in the construction realm, but I know with me, if I do highlights and they're like, I feel like my bangs are still a little bit dark, can we throw a couple extra foils in? It doesn't happen all the time. It rarely happens, honestly, because we have a lot of communication before the process and before they leave the building. I like to make sure that everybody's happy with everything. But I do stand behind whatever it is that I do, and I know what it is that I want to make hourly at the end of the day, and so I kind of price according to that,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
I'm not sure, I can't really relate to you as a man because as a man, I'm sure you guys feel the need to be like a provider. Men want to provide and protect. That's like
Mhm.
built inside of your DNA. I want to provide and I want to be a helpmate to my husband. And if he ever lost his job, I'm sure I could pay our bills. But it's nice to know that he's more so the backbone financially for me and he kind of has to carry that burden and then whatever I make just goes towards other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't have to make a certain amount every week or every month so that I can make sure our bills are paid because they're going to be paid because of him. But I do make it because I want to keep my business thriving and I have a certain expectation for myself for what I feel like I'm deemed worthy to make.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's a real partnership. So Rob, um, how difficult is it to be, the partner, spouse, wife of a contractor?
Well, I want to drive a peg right there with what she said. Rick, you and I might have just lost our our crowns for podcasting because how many things did Janessa say already
Oh,
about communication, about
yep,
knowing your value, about
yep.
prioritizing your time and your calendar, uh, i- thinking of your spouse, all
Hmm.
these things that man, I guys just are not good at until we get
Yep.
to her level of business and my business is about that same level of time. You realize those things and I think you and I might have just lost our job because Janessa can
Yes.
take over right there. But man, what that see, this is why I thought we've not only having guests, but to get that female's perspective. I think
Yeah.
it's so important and don't listen to the narratives that tell you that that men and women are the same. We are completely different. And we are there to complement one another, especially if we're all rowing in the same direction, right? But
Mhm.
man, she said so many good things there. I can't wait to take some more mental notes from what she said. So your question to me, Rick, was what is it like to be uh, uh, or what do I think of what my spouse might think of my business? What was your question?
Well, no. So my experience is, and what I've seen, what I've witnessed, what I've been through, contractors and people, the construction world is still primarily male dominated,
Mm-hmm.
much to my chagrin. It needs to be more balanced, and it is getting there, but it's incremental. The person that the contractor goes home to usually has no idea what's going on inside the business. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy comes home, he's not happy, he's had a crappy day, he doesn't have leads coming in, he doesn't know where he is with his business. He doesn't tend to share that kind of stuff. He doesn't kind of share that burden with them. And most contractors that I've seen, myself included, when things get tough, you just go do more work, get more money coming in. And that just sucks the time away from your family and the person that you go home to. And it is incredibly frustrating to be, partnered, you know, family wise with somebody who's a contractor who is struggling to figure things out. If
Yeah.
you were to share that burden, it may make your life easier. And this is the thing too, I've said, and I want to get back to being the contractor's partner, is you have to be careful talking to your partner who is not an entrepreneur, because that entrepreneur goes to somebody who's not an entrepreneur. What does the non-entrepreneur do when they're struggling?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just quit. Just
Yep.
quit. They love you into quitting because you're in pain. You're not looking for a solution per se, but
They go inward, whereas entrepreneur has to go outward.
right, right. So that's kind of my thought on things. You got to be really careful who you go to for who you confide in. And the information that you share with your partner has to be, look, this is what's going on right now. I'm not looking for a solution. I just want to let you know where I'm at. My clients have dried up. I'm working. Could you help me, get me more clients? Not could you help me close my business down so I can go work for somebody else? Because as an entrepreneur, you can never go work for somebody else.
Oh, no, you couldn't. I couldn't punch a clock.
No, 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 absolutely, positively not. And the saying I've heard about an entrepreneur will work more hours for less money to avoid working for somebody else.
All day.
And that's kind of the way it is. Um, so where you're at with your business and the challenges that you've got, talking to other entrepreneurs, people who are going through the same thing, they get it. And it doesn't really matter what kind of business you're in. A business challenge is a business challenge. So you talked earlier about great clips. And I've been to great clips. And I don't like great clips. Not because they cut your hair bad, but just because of the whole experience. It just seems to be like an assembly line. There's no
A cattle call, yeah.
yeah.
Well, but they have a business model though, don't they? They provide less services for a better value.
Right. So they're high volume, low margin, and they just kind of churn you through there. I am not a Great Clips client, avatar, ideal demographic. I don't fit in there, and they don't care. Whatever. Come. You really don't care. It's like that story I talked about going down to Chicago and buying that tomahawk ribeye, for $140 or something.
He did not even offer to bring us for that either.
That's right.
How dare you?
Yeah, this is a long time ago. I still talk about that freaking steak, and it was the whole experience of getting the whole process. But with you go to Applebee's, they had a $140 steak on their menu. What would you think?
No. I would think no.
It's like,
No.
it's like, what are you,
Indigestion. No, I don't.
what are you,
You
nuts?
retire. No.
So your ideal client, how did you get to the point where you decided this is who I want to serve?
I mean, I'm not joking. I really love people. Like, I really love people. And I like to
Yeah,
try to see if I have common ground with them. If they're a mother, I can relate to that. If they are married, I can relate to that. If they're a
right,
Christian person, I can relate to that. As long as
right,
they aren't hateful and negative, and there's people that you can't please. There's people that I could give them exactly what they want. They could look like the picture whenever they leave, and they're just not going to be happy because I don't know, they want bangs. And they can't even explain it. There's something inside of them that's not satisfied. So a customer that I feel like comes in that seems like they could never be satisfied, I'm gonna not schedule them. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm so busy, and hope that they go to Great Clips or anywhere else. I don't even care. And
that's
and I've
right.
only done that. I've been in business 21 years. I can only name 3 people that I've kind of let go, that I'm like, I'm not scheduling them anymore. So it's not like I'm not like mean spirited or anything, but I think you kind of know what your boundaries are, and you don't want someone to suck the life out of you while they're with you at the day. I want to come home at the end of my day and have the energy to like hug my kids and play Yahtzee and watch a movie or what. If I come home and I'm just drained and I'm like, I need a nap after dealing with that lady for 3 hours, then that doesn't make me good for my next client or for my family or for anything. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thoughts.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we've lost our jobs officially because really
Right.
because she's talked about budget and filtering for the right clients. She's talked
Yep.
about prioritizing free time and knowing your value and supporting your spouse and all the stuff that your typical male owner may not absolutely put first. I think that's his goal, right? If he were
Yeah,
to
yeah.
figure it out, but she's mentioned about how she's put that stuff first. I'm sure it didn't all maybe come automatic, but certainly things she's learned. And
Yes.
isn't it interesting to hear a female's perspective on what's important and at least from my perspective on how those two converge, whether it was 5 years after starting business or 20 years after beginning the business, being self-employed. It's wonderful hearing that take because this is unrehearsed. Uh,
Mhm.
we told her about the show and she's like, well, what do we talk about? You'll have no problem. And here we are. And she's checked all the boxes. It's been great to hear that perspective, but in a different language, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know if you knew what you did, but you laid out your core values
Mm.
Oh,
in your
well,
business.
there we go.
So you have core values, and I always go back to the easiest one to say whose core values are out there, and when it comes to fast food, and they unashamedly say we are Christians. It is
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
I
Chick-fil-A.
love Chick.
My pleasure.
That's the Lord's chicken. I love it.
That's right.
It's good.
And the
Even
number
the
one
cows say eat
thing,
more chicken.
that's right. I love those commercials. I love that. Yeah. So even so, when you think of Chick-fil-A, it is what happens on Sunday at Chick-fil-A
Well, they close.
because
They
of
prioritize God. Yeah. Prioritize
eh,
church. And yeah.
right. And it could be, and this is what I said to a client who are very much Christian, is you need to embrace those Christian values inwardly and outwardly for your business. Not to say that your clients that you serve are Christian, but they have those Christian values, which means Sunday, we weren't big time Christians, but Sunday was always family time. It was family time.
Yeah.
So you could be whatever religion you are, but you embrace family. And it's just, okay, there's one day of the week that you spend time with family, that you shut down, you recharge, you regroup, you
That's right.
focus, and then
Sharpen the axe. Sharpen the axe.
right. And so you want your clients, you said you want your clients to be communicative, they communicate well, sorry, that they have realistic expectations, right?
Yeah.
They see value in what it is you do, and you push those values out there so they are aligned with you. So if you have a business and you don't know what your mission is, what your vision is, what your core values are, I don't care about your business plan. Really, business plans are only there to create it so you get funding from the bank. That's really the only reason you do a business plan.
Yeah.
But but core values, mission, vision are huge. So when you're pushing it out to the world that this is who I am, and this is who I want to work with, these are my clients, they will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, if we don't have that, and that's not uncommon, you do work for everybody. Everybody's seen those work vans out there that says, renovations, plaque. It's like, what do you do? It's like a laundry list on the back of the truck, all the things that they do. In the beginning, you can do that. But if you read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth, you got to dial it in. What is it you got? What's your niche? Make it an inch wide, but a mile deep. Those sorts of things. So it's really critical that you have that, particularly if you're trying to onboard new team members. Well, what do you do here? We cut hair. Oh, okay, I can cut hair.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
same thing. You've hired plumbers. Oh, I'm a plumber. It took you 5 minutes to figure out if he was a plumber or not.
Right.
I can look at a carpenter, if someone that says they're a carpenter, how they hold the tape measure without opening it. That will tell me if they know what they're doing, or give me a lot of clues.
Yeah. Or if you choke up on it, choke up on the hammer.
I love the core values thing. That's sowing and reaping is what we're talking about too. And we're all Christians here, but you guys can identify if we plant corn seeds in the ground, right? The kernels. We're not going to raise watermelons. If your core values, if you identify those and you're putting it out into the world properly, that is what you're going to bring back. But if you just put out a half-reared attitude, or you do things halfway, if she cuts half of a head of hair, or if I build half a house, or Rick just gives you half of the plumbing, if you only do the cold water, man, what kind of business are you going to have, right? It's core values. Identify those core values and list them out. For guys, write them out. Women can probably just spout them off in their head and keep them there, but write that stuff out and stick it on your wall so you can see it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some great people out there that you're trying to jam inside your business that don't align with your values. They have different values in it. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just that they don't belong there. So stop trying to convert them and let them go do their wonderful thing somewhere else. They're just not aligned with you. Same with those clients. They're probably wonderful people, but they just didn't align with the things that you were doing. And it's what you have to do when it comes to business. Don't be afraid to say no. So I said to my son-in-law the other day, I said, sometimes the best jobs that you have are the ones that you don't get. He had a job, a project that he was going to do, and it was a big project for him. And the neighbor stepped in and said, "Oh, we want a different type of company because we know they're clean, this and everything else." And I said, "Look, I think you dodged the bullet with that one, because I think that neighbor would have been a nightmare. They would have been over there micromanaging. Oh, you got a bit of stone here. You got some, got some mortar on here. It would have been nonstop." So I said, "I think you dodged a bullet on that one."
Mm.
So, so when you look at, so we'll go back to contracting businesses, the home service business, we're going to talk about that. If you have a plumbing company, electrical company, HVAC company, that kind of thing, and you do residential, you do not have to offer 24-hour service. You do not. There's no quicker way to get bad clients and lose really good team members by offering 24-hour service. You don't have to do it. And the only time you really have to go out to somebody is if you're HVAC and it's really cold and they don't have heat. You gotta go. But plumbing, if your drains are overflowing, stop using them. If something's broken and you're getting flooded out, shut the water off. If your electrical is not working, whatever. If it's on fire, call the fire department. But what ends up happening is the people who call you for emergency stuff, they're the people that don't do any maintenance on their home, and they're going to call you when something's broken. That's the only time. So we used to have it. We finally figured it out. We'll go out, have a look at stuff. We'll make recommendations. You decline service, that's fine. But we're stamping on there that we recommended that this needed to be replaced, and you said no. So you don't call us at 11 o'clock at night when this thing breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we're not coming out. How horrible would it be if you had a partner or you personally worked for a company that you would lose a weekend because you had to be on call just in case somebody happened to have, no,
No, it's a non-negotiable.
no, no, it's family first. There's a lot more companies out there that are not offering 24-hour service. We're available 8 to 6. Anything outside of that window, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and guaranteed those emergency calls, you're not making any money, you're pissing off your team members and their families, and you're attracting bad clients. So don't offer the 24-hour service. No, we're not worth it. So Chick-fil-A.
Rick, there's a lot of guys that have never, and drive a peg right there for the Chick-fil-A comment. There's a lot of business owners right there that think that when that phone rings that they've got to answer it. And your road to better profit will absolutely start the day you have some open and close hours. When you have some business hours, just like if you had a brick and mortar, like a lot of contractors don't, we don't have a storefront. Don't answer that phone prior to 8. Don't answer it after 5. And you let your clients know. And the bad clients, you'll know them by when they say, "Oh, hey, do you work weekends? Maybe we could get this." "No, ma'am, I'm Monday through Friday." "Oh, that's great." The bad clients are the ones that will ask you to work on the weekends, and then as soon as you tell them you don't, they will agree with you. "Oh, that good for you." It's like they just didn't hear themselves say that. So pause that and replay it as you're watching this. The bad clients were the ones that are asking you to work after hours or during the weekends. And this is not to the 24-hour service guys, because we need those. We need 24-hour emergency plumbers and HVAC guys. We need those. But if you're a carpenter, if you're a repair plumber, if you are a roofer, man, you got business hours, and I highly encourage you to set those. Chick-fil-A, take it away.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, no, absolutely. So in the commercial world, if you do commercial work, be prepared 24/7. You're going out. That's just the way it is. So if something breaks on a Sunday at midnight, you're going out. If it's a restaurant or factory, whatever, you're coming out. That's the kind of type of work you took on. And the guys, but that comes with a price tag. So you're changed, but then you go back to the whole you're changing, exchanging time for money. That's really what you're doing. So, but if you're in the commercial world, absolutely, you have to respond. It gets frustrating when you step outside of your niche or your core values, your alignment, or whatever else it is supposed to be. When I first started in business, I unknowingly was in a niche, but then I stepped outside of that niche. And next thing you know, the job dragged on longer. Customers are not happy.
Every time.
Right. So don't stay in your lane, So this is really good. You're a super smart lady.
Thanks.
Person. Good for you. Business person. Absolutely. Good on you for figuring it out. I always say to the guys that I work with I remember talking to a guy who built $1 million a month drywall company. Never went to college, university, none of that stuff. And I said, good on you for muscling through this. And that's what they do. They muscle through it. But sometimes muscling through it isn't the way to go. And everybody thinks $1 million company, $1 million a month company, that's amazing. I have more admiration for the company that says, no, we're going to stop at 1.5. That's where we're going to stop. We're not going to do any more than that because I know what success looks like to me. Being home with my family, taking vacations, taking care of my good clients, taking care of my good team members, having somebody working for you. Does it happen a lot anymore? Or people work for the same company for 15, 20 years, 30 years? Nope.
Not really.
Nope. It's transactional.
It's certainly not the normal like it would have been for our grandparents and great grandparents.
No. But that's a whole different discussion.
Oh yeah.
But know what success looks like to you, not what the world or social media or Grant Cardone is telling you what success looks like. Standing in front of a Lamborghini, getting on a private jet or whatever it is. Good for you, but that's not the reality for the vast majority of people out there. And if you want to have $1 million a month company, go for it. God bless you.
Rick, I got a question for you as we wrap up. What are the 2 things that you heard Janessa say that that you like the most out of, in her language, how she put it? What are your two takeaways from her natural response to what we're talking about?
Well, you're 100% clear on what success looks like. 100%. Yeah. And you're 100% clear on who your ideal client is. That's, I don't know, Rob, I mean, how much percentage wise, how much is that of being successful in business?
That is probably 60%, maybe even higher of the task that you and I as contractors face. And she's a contractor. She's just a hairstylist. She doesn't call herself a contractor, but none of us sells things to giraffes, right? We don't sell things to aardvarks. It's people to people and how we communicate, and do we convey those ideas, being able to identify what's most important to you and identifying your type of client that you can best serve. Yeah, that's most of the problem right there.
Yeah. You've accumulated a ton of knowledge, Janessa.
Thank you.
And you could impart a lot of what you've learned on other people, not about being a hairstylist, about being a business person, business owner, an entrepreneur.
Thanks.
There's a lot of people that could learn from what you've done. So good for you.
Well, thanks. I cheated because I feel like, I mean, the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. So in my opinion, with every bit of success that you get, you also have to sacrifice. You usually don't get success without sacrifice. And I think it's important to kind of like know your limit and what it is that you're willing to sacrifice and able to reach that goal, and know in your heart if it's worth it. And if it's not, you gotta kind of reel it back. That's just kind of what I go by. But I cheated because I read the Bible, so I think that helps.
Yeah. Well, Rob knows what my Bible looks like. It's in pristine condition. It's never been open.
Well,
I read St. Mark.
The New Testament, Paul said that he was the chief of sinners, and he wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. So we're all on the path. If you're Christian, we're all on the path. It's just somebody may be a step or two ahead of us, somebody may be a step or two behind us, but we're all on the path. None of us is perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good. This was fun. I enjoyed this very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Pleasure
I don't know
meeting
if
you.
Janessa learned anything from us.
Yeah, I did. Do you have a King James Bible? That you don't have to record this part, but do you have a King James Bible? What do you have? What kind?
I don't know. It's back over there. It's I got a handful of them. I actually have read St. Mark. So that's the only part that I've ever read and studied.
I'm super weird, and I love to send people like devotionals or like different versions of the Bible. Like seriously, if I get your address, I'll send you something. If you tell me what you don't have, we'll just fill in the gap. You can see if you like it. Seriously.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm all down for that, and it's interesting. So I did have somebody that I worked with for a little bit. He's a preacher, pastor, minister, and we'd spend half an hour talking about his business and half an hour talking about St. Mark. And that was the only part that he had me read. So I would interpret it through my eyes, what I saw. And he's
to a point, as you should.
Yeah.
So it was all about, for me, that part was all about be clear on where you're going, have a mission, don't compromise, and don't double back to drag people with you, because if they're not going to follow you,
you just said the whole Bible.
Yeah.
They're not going to follow you.
You were Old Testament and New Testament all over.
I do not have to prove to you who I am.
No.
If you don't, and it's interesting. So I took that from. I use it all the time. So I used it with a client one time who came to me and said, "My team members are not following me." I said, "Hey, we know the guy that did the thing, that went from town to town, and even when they're in the middle of the sea, somebody said, 'Hey, we're going to run out of food and stuff.'" And it's like, did I just not show you? So I said to him, I said, "Where is your business going?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Then your team members are just going to look at this as just a job, because they're not on a mission. They don't know how what they're doing contributes to the success of the company."
And they probably don't care, because they're probably not at the first stage of apathy. They're probably at the 3rd or 15th.
Yeah. So in business, if you have a team, 20% of your team loves what you're doing. 60% of your team just like we're here just for the ride on the bus. We really don't care where we're going. 20% are at the back, drilling holes in the back of your boat. You got to find that 20%.
Yeah, I
that are
agree.
dri-
I agree.
So,
Can we make
and
them fill
one-
the holes before we fire them?
that's right. So that 20%, if you have, say you have 10 people, that 20%, when they quit, it's not just one person, it's could be a small handful that just
hmm
go and they throw a hand grenade into your business on the way out the door.
Oh man, we got to have a podcast just about that one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, you want to take us out, Robert?
I do, and I want to I want to end with gratitude because, man, how cool is it to be a business owner and to have some have some hindsight, have some perspective, right? Man, I'd love to say I planned everything that led me to here, but I didn't, and God's good, and I'm just glad that He gave me another day and an opportunity to reflect on the things that I did wrong and that I had the opportunity to change, and that the things I did right, I just want to give Him the honor and the glory for that because tomorrow's not promised. How many of our loved ones we won't see tomorrow, or the people that we appreciate? And I don't want to sound like a Boy Scout. I'm just saying, man, just be thankful for where you are. If you're not Christian, man, that's okay with me. Just be thankful for what you have, and be thankful that if you get tomorrow, that you get to have a do-over. And man, I just think that that's powerful. And I'd love to say that gratitude was my idea. No, it was not my idea. It really wasn't. I'm a selfish person at heart, and I just think to focus on gratitude, that when you screwed up, you got tomorrow, hopefully, and you get to have a big fat do-over, which is awesome.
It was my idea, if you're looking to give
That's
credit.
right.
Thanks for that.
I didn't want to. Rick's head's getting
We
bigger.
appreciate your gratitude idea. It's a good idea.
He's like, my gratitude has taken.
You and Brandon Lake just got together and made gratitude. I like it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Janessa, Robert, do you want to take us out? Janessa, anything else? Any other comments?
Janessa, what'd you learn today? Did you learn anything?
I learned lots of things. I did.
Give
I
me
think
one
it was
thing.
Nice. Gosh, I don't know. We went over a lot.
Now I'm putting you on the spot.
I know.
Do it.
I guess I learned that it's good that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays.
Wow.
That's right.
She's gonna do us dirty, but she's right.
I learned a lot. We just talked about a lot.
We sure did.
Yeah.
And man, I hope you guys were taking notes. And Rick, we still have the AI summary on the YouTube side of things. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you guys are you can only if you watch this, you got to like, share, and subscribe. But at the end of that, you're going to see a summary so that you didn't have to sit there and take notes. And we did that for you. It's an extra little piggyback that Rick has done. That was Rick's idea. And we want to serve you. We want to give you extra value. And if you found this podcast and you're like, man, let me get Rob's opinion on construction or maybe an upcoming bathroom model. Or if you just like how I parted my hair, fantastic. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. If you guys if the contractors, you need business advice, man, you would do worse to ask me what I screwed up on, because I will tell you, Rick is in the business of business coaching. His business is Work Boot Consulting. And Janessa, if she wants to share more about her personal business, we will tag her on that. But if you guys have questions for us, put our name in there, Rick, Rob, or Janessa. Ask us your question, and we will respond to that.
Yeah. So John Maxwell said, "Be a river, not a reservoir."
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I just quoted him the other day. There's two kinds of people that walk into the room. The first person is, "Hey, I'm here."
Yep.
The second person is, "Hey, there you are."
Right.
And I hate to say that I used to be more of the, "Hey, I'm here," but I really am. I've crossed the line, and "Hey, there you are."
Oh, crap.
And we got fighting dogs. Live TV. But you and I want to be those people that when we walk into the room, we want to find somebody and add value. And I love what you said there. Be a river instead of a reservoir.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll is Jeanette on her way back, or we just kind of say?
we're going to say goodbye, and then if I'm going to pitch her an idea on possibly shoot another podcast with us, because I love the fresh ideas and the fresh takes. And if you contractors were listening, she just put us all to shame. She just said in 45 minutes what or whatever that was, all the things that would help you get your business from year 1 to year 20. She really did.
100%. Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate you.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
To learn more about Rick, go to his website, workbootconsulting.com. And to learn more about Rob, go to his website, sdlbr.com. Until next time, work on bridging that gap. Remember, it's always a two-way street.